All right, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about mean, median, and mode for our data sets. So next step in our statistics unit here, I'm going to walk you through the steps of calculating the mean, the median, and the mode. After we start with a couple of basic definitions. Easy definition for the mean. Mean is just another word for average. So for the mean, we find the average of the values. How do we find the values? Add each data point and divide by the total number of values. Okay, and we'll work through some of these examples together, but mean is just another word for finding the average of the values, add each data point, and then divide by the total number of values. When we talk about the median is the middle point in the data set, or the middle value, not the average. The average might not actually be a value that exists within our set of data. The median will be the middle value in our data set. And I think that'll make a little bit more sense when we work through an example here. The mode is the value with the most frequency. That means simply the one that is repeated most often. Most repeated value. So when you take a look at example 1, let's put this into a context here. One thing that I find helpful, you'll see it says the number of points scored in one season by 8 leading scorers on the Monstars basketball team are as follows: 479, 436, 325, 254, 202, 159, 113, and 76. So for the mean, we have 479 plus 436 plus 325 plus 254 plus 202 plus 159 plus 113 plus 76. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players on the team. So I'm going to add those point totals together and then divide by 8. So you'll need a calculator to do this, but I'll add 479, 436, 325, 254, 202, 159, 113, and then 76. Your sum in the numerator is 2,044 points. Then we're going to divide that by 8. 2,044 divided by 8 is 255.5 points. Make sure to put your unit. So what is my average number of points scored for each player? 255 points. So that's the average. So you have Pound who scored 479, Trio scored 76. You have a wide range, but the average player scored about 255 points. Now, as we work through finding the median, right? Remember, mean, average, median, middle. We already have our values in order from greatest to smallest. Smallest to greatest wouldn't matter. We want to find the middle value in that set. So 479 and 76, we can cancel out. We're just going to work our way into finding the middle value. Now, the middle value here is going to be somewhere in between 254 and 202. If we had an odd number of terms, you would have an exact value that falls in the middle. In this case, we need to find the average between 254 and 202. the middle value would be exactly in the middle of those two sets of points. So 254 plus 202 is 456. We will then divide that by 2, and we end up with 228 points as our median. So the middle value within the set. All right, when we talk about the mode, that's the repeated value in the set. You'll notice the point totals for each player are all different. None of them scored the same number of points. So for the mode, we can simply write none because no values are repeated. We can take a look at the bar chart below. It represents the number of science articles read. On our vertical axis, we have the number of science articles, and then we have the name of each individual person. So the first thing we need to do is find the mean. That's going to be the average. 8 articles, 8 articles, 4, 4. Michelle read 10, another 4, and then Felix also read 10. So we're going to add the number of articles read by each student. 8 plus 8 plus 4 plus 4 plus 10 plus 4 plus 10. That's going to find the total number of articles. We have a total of 7 students in the class. So you'll add up the total number of articles read by each student. That gives you 48. And 48 divided by 7 is an average of 6.85 articles. All right, for our median, sometimes when I'm calculating the median, I think it's helpful to order out all of the values. So we have 3 4s, 2 8s, and 2 10s. I always go smallest to biggest because now when I find the middle value, remember this is different. It's not the average. I'm going to cross out the smallest one, the biggest one, the next smallest, the next biggest, the next smallest, the next biggest. What term falls exactly in the middle of our data set? Our median would be 8 articles. That is the middle value. Now remember, our mode is the most repeated value. We had 3 students read 4 articles. We had 2 students read 8, 2 students read 10. 4 is the most repeated one, or the most frequent number in the set. So talking about frequency, when you think back to your dot plots, our mode would be represented by 4 articles. Now you have a Desmos activity to work on today and an IXL. If you finish those early, feel free to work on this next worksheet here that follows in the packet. Remember, you can use a calculator here to help you. Good luck with your calculations, and make sure you take everything to 1 or 2 decimal places.